Good morning, Nigeria's federal capital city, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. And good morning to everyone who is following us online. I value every moment that you spend with me on Talking Tech. And I also want to use this opportunity to apologize for the fact that we're not able to bring you Talking Tech last week, Tuesday. It was due to circumstances beyond my control. I had to actually travel out of town to manage an emergency. Welcome to Talking Tech, your finest tech program on radio in the federal capital city, Abuja. And we're coming to you live from Vision FM 92.1, your community friendly radio. On this show, we discuss everything technology from how it has continuously dictated the pace of human civilization to how it has enthroned nations who have embraced it as world powers. And we have also discussed emerging technologies. We've discussed how these technologies will shape our societies, how these technologies will shape businesses, and how they will dictate various governments across the globe. We've always brought you expert views from tech bros, from tech Cs, from tech CEOs, and we've brought you various industry, various indigenous, very exciting news basically from indigenous tech companies. And on today's episode of the program, we'll be discussing a very, very key topic. We'll be discussing an important topic. We'll be having a conversation. Our conversation will be bordering around embracing technology as a tool for educating 21st century professionals. And trust me when I say that in the studio with me, we have some 21st century professionals, and you'll be listening to them. I'm your host, Ifeanyi, the tech guy. Don't forget that you can follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. On Instagram, you can find me at D underscore tech underscore guy. That's spelled at DEE underscore TECH underscore GUY. And then on Facebook, it's one word, the tech guy. And it's spelled DEETECHGUI. Well, like I said, I have some special guests with me in the studio today. And two of them, I would consider two of them more special than any other person in the studio. Because, like I said, these are the real professionals of the future of the 21st century. So, go nowhere. We'll be taking a very short break. When I return, I'll be introducing my guests and we'll go straight into the conversation for the day. Yeah. So, are you cool? Yasmin, are you okay? Can you do it? Hmm? You can, right? All right, that's cool. All right. Bye-bye. Welcome back. You're still on Talking Tech with Ifeanyi, the tech guy. Well, if you know anything about recent technological advancements and recent technological trends, or if you're a regular listener of the program, you obviously know that the future will be technology driven. And if you really think that we're already being driven by technology today, then I would want you to wait till 10 years from now, and then that's when you will really understand what it really means for technology to drive your life, because everything you do will be dependent on technology. And trust me, it will be a very beautiful thing to witness. And the jobs of the future will require not just average technology, average tech knowledge to execute them. They will need and they will require professionals. They will need the professionals who will fill in for this job to be highly tech literate, people that will have a deep understanding of technology and how this technology relates to their industry. So what that means is basically you will find that the lawyers who will excel in the future are lawyers who understand technology and how technology affects their law practice. The builders and the civil engineers will be those who understand how technology, basically affects their trade. So gaining skills in various tech areas will be like gaining English and math skills in today's world. Just like you cannot progress in your studies or in school without adequate English and math skills as a professional in the future, trust me, you literally cannot make progress without tech skills. So this would mean that training of kids and professionals of the future has to basically incorporate technology as its core, not just as a crisis management method. Well, like I said today, joining me in the studio, I have some very special guests from Aktarbia STEM School. Did I put that? I did well, right?
Yeah.
That was okay. So I have a special team from Aktarbia STEM School here in Abuja. I have with me Raji Moshid Kayode. That's the academic coordinator of the school.
Yes.
I also have um, Abdul Musa, the IT instructor. I have Ali Amin Wali. That's Ali Wali is a year nine robotics coding and programming student. And then I also have with me Yasmin Abdullahi, a year 11 IT student. So welcome to the studio. Welcome to Talking Tech.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So you're a STEM school, and I know that the concept of STEM schools is something that's new to a lot of people. They would not understand what a STEM school is. So what is a STEM school, and what do you guys really do in STEM schools?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ifine. My name once again is Moshud Raji, the academic coordinator of Aterbia STEM School. Basically, the acronym for STEM means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Okay.
What does this mean? We all know that we are learning or going to school for the future.
Of course.
But we've come to realize in the country today, you see someone studying mathematics, working in a place where he or she is not supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
But the world definitely need to change.
Of course.
And the concept of STEM is just a style of teaching or style of learning
Yes.
to plan the kids for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And how do we achieve this? Let them apply the knowledge of the science, the basic sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, the technology, which is engineering, design aspect,
Yes.
engineering itself, and then mathematics. Most students hate mathematics because our teachers made it difficult.
Yes.
Or
boring.
X and Y. How can you translate X and Y to real life?
Mm-hmm.
But when you let them understand the X and Y has a purpose or has a reason, then, and they can link it to real life, then students will be prompted to want to go to school, to want to learn, to want to build a future for themselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Talking about X and Y, I know that while in school they always tell you find X, find Y, and we've been looking for Y. So basically, in your school you found Y, you found X, you found Y. Why? Because that it's always a theoretical it's always a theoretical knowledge, but basically in your school you've been able to put practical understanding as to what X is, what Y is. That's
Yes.
what you're trying to say.
Basically, in algebra,
Mhm.
you use X
X and Y,
you have
yes,
A, B,
as
C.
variables.
But if you want students to know the reason why you use X and Y,
Mm-hmm.
instead of using X and Y, you are Mr. Ifine.
Mm-hmm.
She is Miss Yasmin.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we use Mr. Ifine and Miss
Miss
Yasmin
Yasmin,
coming
yes.
to the studio? What are we going to achieve? Why are we in the studio? So Mr. Ifine is represented, instead of writing the long name, is represented as
Using X.
we will not use X.
Okay.
We use the initial of your name.
Okay.
Then Yasmin, Y. We use the initial of our name.
Mm-hmm.
They serve the same purpose as X and Y.
Of course.
That's just it.
So that
The-
makes learning very practical.
So the X and Y we've been looking for has always been available.
But we didn't
how
know.
do we now translate it to real life?
That's true.
That's what we do in our school.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Raji. So I have a question for you, Mr. Abdul. Now, the main reason for education would be basically to help students gain requisite knowledge and skills to prepare them for a task in the future, or maybe a job or a profession. And that will mean that as a STEM school, basically, there are certain skills that you believe that professionals of the future are supposed to gain. That for them to excel in the future, then they're supposed to gain this certain skills. And I believe that's what you're trying to give to your students. So when you train these kids in these technologies, what are you really trying to get out of them?
Okay, my name is Engineer Abdulmumin Musa, and I'm the IT personnel of Aterbia STEM School.
Okay.
Being a STEM school, we're trying to train our own students to be STEM-based personnel in future.
Okay.
In the sense that if you look at it now in Nigeria, even some place or maybe some school or some educational establishment that always talk about being science, just more of just theoretical. But in our own aspect here, we are trying to like make it more of practical.
Okay.
Because what is the essence of just studying everything X and Y, just like what my colleague is saying here, and then not know how to apply it.
Yes.
But in our own aspect here, they studied, then put it into practical. And then in future, you want it to be like in such a way that they can able to like apply their skills in the advanced industry. Because nowadays we are not in the 21st century,
Yeah.
and the world is moving on a fast pace.
Yes.
And we are now in kind of like the age you call an IT age. So, and if you check now, if you look at countries like maybe let's say Taiwan, China, Singapore, they have already moved ahead, far ahead
Of
in terms
course.
of technology.
Yes.
And we have to find a way of trying to like bridge that gap. So, in bridging that gap, we need to make sure that the students have the skill in the time of IT. And our own aspect here, we have the robotic aspect, the coding, and then the IT aspect. Then we look at they are well trained in that department, have the necessary skills, practical aspect, not the theoretical aspect, in which in future they can apply that skill in any industry in the world, and at the same time able to stand on their own and even be an employer of people.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yasmin, let me ask you. Your teachers have said that what you do in your school is basically to ensure that the theoretical science knowledge, engineering knowledge is being practicalized. So, what are some of the practical applications of the knowledge that you gain in school that you, as a person, you've been able to understand and you've applied it, in real life?
For the fact that practical, we have done projects. We've done so many projects in our school.
Okay.
Like for me personally,
Okay.
I've done so many projects. I'm still working on some projects. I
Okay.
have done the automatic dustbin, and then I'm also working on a health-based project.
Okay, talk to us about one of your health-based project. This is interesting.
So basically, it doesn't replace a doctor. It doesn't
Okay.
replace a nurse, but it saves time. It's more like a scale, a thermometer, and then your heart rate. It measures everything, and then it sends like
The reports to the
the
doctor.
report to the doctor immediately. So it saves time.
That's massive. So it's a software,
Yes,
basically.
it's a soft-
So you're basically developing software that measures health parameters and then sends reports to a doctor.
Yes, and then I also have the physical part of it, not only the software.
Okay, not only the software. So you have the physical equipment that collects these measurements. Okay, this is interesting. And you're only in year 11.
Yes,
That's true.
that's SSG.
That's SS2. So now imagine what Yasmin will be doing when she gets to the university. So this it's I think it's very impressive. Well, in as much as technology has its own positive sides, technology has done massive good to us. Like we see somebody as young as Yasmin coming up with practical real life solutions to challenges that she had seen in the health sector. But in as much as we have this good, technology has this good, but there are negative sides to technology because a lot of people have been able to apply technology negatively, and the impact has also been the negative impact has also been massive. So let me ask Mr. Raji, do you feel like there's such a thing as overexposure to technology, especially when it comes to kids?
Well, we as adults were overexposed.
Okay.
You observe that we virtually can't do without touching our phone, whether while driving, thereby causing accident. You are in the comfort station, you are still pressing.
Yes.
Cooking, you are pressing phone. How have we been able to discipline ourselves to everything bow down to discipline? As we know, most of the gadgets our children use these days, we have restrictions to them. Parent access are being installed on the system. And as a school, we install access to. But we discovered that while doing that, some of our students are smart enough to the extent
That they can
they're
bypass
able to
this.
boycott some
Yeah.
of these things, and you discover most of them will claim they want to be, they call it ethical hacker.
Hacking, yeah.
No, not hacking, ethical.
Ethical hack, yeah.
A kind
Ethical
of-
hackers, yeah.
We know we have the
That's
positive
what
and the
hackers-
negative,
Side of hacking, yes.
The purpose of ethical hackers is just they are also good at the negative, but they want to see how they can use it positively.
To ensure that
to ensure
your IT systems are safe
IT
from the
systems
negative
are safe.
hackers.
We in our school, apart from the restriction,
Mm-hmm.
going by the name of the school, let me explain what the Aterbia means.
Okay.
Because when you speak to people's mind, when you let people understand what is really right and what is, it's more like an awareness being created. I think self-discipline goes a long way in correcting some negative vibes in the society, rather than if you install gadget, student can definitely hack and break into it.
Mm-hmm.
The meaning of Aterbia is just like proper upbringing.
Okay.
So we speak to their mind, we enlighten them, we create awareness. When you do this, what will be the consequences in the future?
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the physical restriction we
You give to
we
them.
give to them, they can boycott.
Of course.
But when you talk to their mindset and they understand the fact that every action has consequences,
Yes.
and no one wants to face negative consequence, and they discover this.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Raji. But let me speak with Alia Aminu. Alia Aminu, what are some of these because your instructor has said, technology has its negative impacts, and one thing to help that can help us cut it is discipline. So what are some of these negative aspects that you've seen technology have amongst you and your peers?
Thank you, sir. What I have to say is that the negative side of technology have brought about a lot of problems in our country and also in families. Students might go to, for example, in our school. Yesterday, let me even give you an example.
Okay.
Yesterday we were having our IT class.
Okay.
So our IT teacher was going to teach them hacking, but then he said that he's not going to do it because he doesn't trust some of them.
Okay.
And one of them was even like showing the facial expression that he's very tempted to learn how to hack.
Okay.
So now some students or some young people know how to hack, like Yahoo boys, and they scam people. And once you scam people, you can hack into their accounts, steal their money, steal information on them, and also it's used in human trafficking.
Okay.
And also students enter some sites that they are not supposed to. Even some movie sites, if maybe their parents don't allow them to go to the cinemas, some of them still find a way to go to some insecure sites to download movies just to watch.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm curious, what practical what practical projects have you done?
Me and one of my classmates actually made an automatic density sensing traffic management system. Some time ago, some months I think, last year, we went to the Ministry of Transportation. So we went there to actually present our project, and it went well. So it's like a traffic light, but
Okay.
automated. Everything inside there is automated, and it also solves a lot of problems. Like it's a very organized traffic system. It counts cars and multiplies the number of cars by, each car has 9 seconds. So if there are 3 cars, it multiplies it by 9.
9 seconds, yeah.
Then it now gives the total time it's going to allow them to pass, and it goes around all of the roads.
Wow. I'm basically almost speechless, because one thing that apart from the technological solution that he's talked about, is how it's almost like marketing your solution. What he has done, with the Ministry of Transportation. Mr. Raji, you have something to say?
Let me start by one of the projects Yasmin here developed during the COVID, while we're
Okay.
having our online classes. When we had to resume physically, she, apart from the normal protocol of wash your hand, use sanitizer,
Mm-hmm.
she realized that you dispose papers in the class, you have to use your hand or use the leg to open the refuse bin.
Yeah.
And she felt she has learned about how the sensor works.
Okay.
And she felt, can I convert this to automatic refuse bin without buying any other dustbin? She converted that actual dustbin to a kind of automated refuse bin.
Yeah.
And when you come close, it opens.
It opens,
You
yes.
drop, and you are good to go. And we are looking at marketing that particular product for her. Then secondly, the project Ali Wali talked about, we actually went to FCT, Department of Road, and they were overwhelmed, and due to issue of budget, and if the budget is passed on time, they promised to give us a pilot scheme that will actually be built by the students.
Wow.
So we talk about 21st century, we talk about the future, we talk about technology. They already have a job.
But the thing is, they are already entrepreneurs while in secondary
Yes,
school.
and part of what we teach them in the school, I taught them how to make liquid soap, how to make perfume, how to make Izal. And you'll be surprised that one or two of them came to me and were like, how can we automate this? And he and some of his colleagues built a conveyor belt. They did a conveyor belt
Okay.
to see the fact that how can this liquid soap be moving without we touching it, because some of them are acidic.
So
And they
so
were
basically
eating-
it makes these soaps automatically. It automates the process.
You make it automatic, because while we're preparing it, we're using our hand and stick to mix.
Mm-hmm.
They built like a mixer with conveyor belt, and they're thinking of how to make it better.
This is engineering at
So-
its best.
Everybody can make liquid soap, but they are looking at how to use technology to make it better.
And you know what this will do? The person who mixes with his hands, and when you compare it with the person who mixes with the machine, the output is you can't. There's no relationship between the out, because the guy who uses machine to do his mixer and whose process is automated, he will give you almost times 10.
Let me give you
Outputs.
a scenario. In chemistry, or let me say in science,
Mhm.
when you talk about element, compound, and mixture, it's something we learned years and it continues to be the same. There's heterogeneous mixture, we have homogeneous mixture. We keep explaining to our students. We give example, pap and this, but how can this really see and feel? So we use the liquid soap as example. When you mix with the hand, you still see some bubbles and some stuck part of the chemicals. But when you use the mixer,
Mhm.
you have what we call the uniform mixture.